Hello, wonderful people. This is episode 95 of Neander Talk Podcast with Slutterbell, the fairy. You heard me right. We got a fairy on the podcast, a legit, real live fairy. Every day she does fairy things. You can find her on Instagram at the Slutter. I'll post it on there. Slutterbell, every fairy, Slutterbell. I'll post it. All right, you guys probably aren't, whatever. This was a really fun episode. I had a really good time with her. She's a really smart lady, and you wouldn't think that from some of her posts because she has this character, and it's a wonderful, funny, great character. And this was a really cool, unexpected, like I learned, and it was an unexpected treat. Not that I wasn't looking forward to having this podcast with her, but I didn't know what to expect, and what I got was really cool, and I think you guys will really enjoy this episode. Episode 95. I don't know what more to say. Follow me. I don't know how to pimp myself. Follow me on Instagram, like and subscribe. I'm doing what I can for you guys to entertain you and get some entertainment for this quarantine. Yeah, it sucks. Here's something to watch or listen to. That and Tiger King, of course. When I was when did that song come out? 94, 93? Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.
Lick on these nuts and
suck the dick. I remember I was like in 5th grade, maybe 6th grade, and I was listening to that, and I remember I was in school, and I was walking into the bathroom singing that. And as soon as I turned the corner in the bathroom, there was the science teacher, math teacher
they're just like,
and I saw him and I turned right back around. It's just like one of those things, like you're not allowed to cuss when you're a kid. When you're in school.
Right.
When you're in school, you can't cuss.
Yeah.
I mean, look at us now.
I know.
It's F this, F that, everywhere. Everybody does it.
Well, and in Europe, the C word is like a compliment. So
everywhere, yeah. Cunt.
Yeah,
That's big in Australia, but it's like a compliment.
Everyone.
It's like a compliment.
It's like, hey, you sound cunt. How you doing?
Yeah.
There? It's like.
It's funny how.
But a dog's cunt is bad. I learned that.
A dog's cunt. Oh, okay.
There are different levels of cunt that are acceptable. So,
and is the worst one a dog's cunt?
I think dogs.
Is this in Australia?
No, this is in
Europe.
In England. Also, you're British, but you can also be English. And I asked for the definition, and why, and they're like, I don't know. Some people are both, and I'm like, I'm so confused.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those. Everybody, and they're all like, oh yeah. Well, I'm English, yeah. He's not though, and I'm like, so, what does that mean exactly? Oh, just this person's British, and then they're also English. What?
Huh? I know so very little about the English culture. I like I like Guy Ritchie movies.
Isn't he Australian?
I don't know, but I like his movies.
I like him too.
English gangster flicks. I like those.
Oh, I love
old I watched that last one, The Gentleman.
Yes.
Matthew McConaughey, that was good.
I'm all for it. Sir Ian McKellen is besides the fact that I'm married, he's the love of my life, even though he's 81 and gay, and but I still think it could work.
You can turn him out.
I just want to live with him. I mean, my husband can live there too. He'd be fine with it. Would you be fine living with an 81-year-old gay British knight? I mean, come on. Who's an excellent actor?
If there's any gay 81-year-old British knights out there that's hiring or looking for, I'm half your age. I look good for my age.
He does, and he's talented.
As long as I don't have to do anything strange. If you just like my company.
I'll paint his toenails. I don't care. Like, I love him.
I'd paint his toenails too if that's where it stops.
I just wanna be like, read me bedtime stories, satanic rituals. I don't care. I just want to hear you talk, and and that beautiful voice.
Slutterbell.
Yes.
That's your name.
Yes.
Slutterbell.
Mhm.
I mean, can you tell me what that name means? Like, I don't want to just.
No.
I've had a couple shots of vodka, but I'm not there yet to get, to
Yes.
go obvious with it. But
it's okay. I get like Fluffernut and Slutterby and. So, basically, my parents were going through a human phase when I was born, and they named me Denise Bell. And in high school, I was very nerdy and stuff. And the Mean Girls took a picture of me in the locker room when I was changing because my shirt got stuck on my wing. And so they started calling me Slutterbell. And rather than be bullied by it, I was like, well, Slutterbell kind of sounds more like a fairy name than Denise anyway. So I embraced it. And it's an anti-bullying story.
You were wearing these wings in high school?
Oh, no. This was the backstory that came up when I was live on air, and they said, how did this name come about? And that's what came out of my mouth, and that is what stayed.
Okay.
That's I told you I can think on my feet. Like,
I like it. Well, I was about to dive into this story. I need more than just the headline.
They tell you to just keep going and, in improv and stage and just keep
I didn't know that's what we
talking.
were doing. I'm here to learn.
That's the
and
story
laugh.
it is. That's
But-
what came out.
Okay, I like it. Well, you stopped it. I was going to keep going. So you were wearing wings in high school, huh?
Yeah, I was changing for gym class, and my shirt got stuck, and I was like, and then they took a picture of me, and they were like, Slutterbell, and so I turned it into an anti-bullying, so kids like me too. So now I'm a family-friendly fairy.
Okay, now I'm confused.
Well, because if you look at...
Hold on. Did you really do this in high school? Is that a real story? What's the real story? What's Slutterbell mean?
Slutterbell officially started in 2017. I went to Comic-Con for the first time. I'd never been. I didn't know anything about it. I got a free ticket. And we walked around. And it was a really fun time. And then there was this row of women. And they were like hot women. And they had pictures of them everywhere. But they were like in like hoodies and had their hair up. And they just looked bored and miserable. And men kept going up with like pictures, and they'd sign them and give them money. And I asked my friend, I was like, what is going on here? And they're like, oh, those are the professional cosplayers.
They were just wearing hoodies?
Yeah, they didn't.
They weren't in cos?
Like, they didn't care, yeah. It's like they rolled out of bed from the hotel and just showed up because
they
so
were imports.
Yeah. Oh, everybody from Comic-Con, yeah.
Like cosplay people know who these cosplayers
yes.
are.
They make six figures and like from taking pictures.
I've got a little bit I've had some cosplayers on the podcast a couple times, so I know a little bit about it.
Like, some people do it just for fun, but these are the ones that have like makeup artists and costume designers and
right.
stuff.
Oh, right. The professionals.
Yeah, and
probably
like I
have
said, make six figures. Yeah.
a ton of followers on Instagram.
Oh.
And yeah.
So like I was very confused. I was like, so they're sitting there looking, like ass, and people are like, their fans that built them are coming up and paying them money to sign their name on a picture because they don't even act. They just, like most of them don't, and they were complaining about it. And I was just like, it just pissed me off. I don't know, because it's so hard being, an actor and stuff. So I just did a video kind of tongue in cheek about, I was like, well, I'm going to make up my own character and I'm going to make her talk. She's not just going to take pictures. And it was kind of a joke. But then I woke up the next morning and it's like, for whatever reason, this really stupid 1-minute video people liked.
So you had that idea right there at Comic-Con?
Yeah.
Or Planet Comic-Con for your first time?
Yeah.
And then you woke up the next day and did something?
I drove out to Super Bunnies and got me a wig and got some wings and went out in the backyard and made a video.
Why a fairy? Where did that idea come from?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I like fairies, and I wanted an original character, and I wanted a character that could go a lot of places and do a lot of things, And I didn't have to have like a specific costume and everything. I get fairy shamed because apparently there is fairy culture.
No.
Oh, yes. Don't go to Renaissance Festival dressed like this, let me tell you.
Okay.
They'll be mean to you. They will straight up like turn their
Why?
backs on
Is
you.
there okay, this
'Cause I
sounds
don't live in
interesting.
nature. I don't live in nature. So, of course, I couldn't help myself. And they have to stay in character the whole time. So I'm like, you don't have to live in the trees and the dirt. I live in a house. I have air conditioning. We can fix your situation. And they were so mad. They like clicked up
Really?
together and would
No,
like
they
walk
didn't.
away. Yeah,
No.
they like walked away like a group of like mean girls. Like, and I was like,
These are forest
vlogging.
fairies?
Yeah.
Don't they understand there's like different kinds of fairies?
Oh, no, there aren't. Not according to them.
Well, they don't know anything. They're ignorant.
They commune with nature.
They're fairyists.
You're supposed to wear like neutral colors and no glitter and holographic.
What do they
things.
think the tooth fairy is?
That I didn't ask because they wouldn't talk to me. The mermaid was cool. His name was
Merman.
Well, he went by Roxanne. So
Oh, okay.
so I don't know.
A transgender mermaid.
He had a beautiful tail. He was way nicer than the fairy people.
Well, yeah, he didn't have to have grudge with you. He's a different species.
But still, he was like.
He's not a fairy.
He said he would love to be a fairy and stuff, and he was very kind. And the king and queen, they like lead the parade and they march around. I had talked to them and interviewed them earlier. They were like, "Fairy, come on, walk with me." And the other fairies were in like the back of the line with like the peasants and peons, and I was like walking with the king and queen, and I'm like,
Were you working at the Renaissance
Oh,
Festival?
no, I
Or
just cover events.
You just went up there.
Yeah.
You cover
yeah.
events.
Yeah. I just like whatever thing is going on, I do, videos or promos or whatever. And
Yeah, so you like to do, I guess, social media. Let's see, you have a Twitch account.
I do. I have everything.
You have YouTube.
Yes.
Instagram is how I found out about you.
That's where I started, yeah. I had live stream on Twitch.
How often?
Every day. Because
Doing what?
It depends. Generally new people come into my stream and just say, what is happening here? And I'm like, well, which part?
What are you doing? Like, are you out doing stuff, or are you just at home sitting in a computer chair talking and interacting? Like, because there's different kinds of streamers on Twitch.
Right. And I'm in the IRL section.
All right.
So I change it up. Like when I'm at home, I'm on my couch and the pig is always with me, my pet pig, Dashel. And sometimes I take them like backstage when I go to play performances, and stuff like that. I took them to the pig farm one time, just when I got my hairs did, like at the salon. I was like,
Never thinking about taking them to like
I'll take them anywhere.
butcher shop or a barbecue joint.
I can't take it. Well, I could take them. I should because it's Kansas City. Although it gets lost on them because my stream, they're like, what's your demographic? I'm like, insomniac Europeans. Because that's the majority of my stream. Because I stream,
Really?
I like 8 to 11 is like, those are my set hours. But
AM or PM?
PM.
Okay.
So there's
11 p.m. That's when you stream.
8 to
8 to 11. Okay.
And sometimes I'll go over if people really want to talk and stuff like that, and sometimes I'll do random day streams, like especially now because literally every job I do, it's like just kidding, not happening.
It's quarantine season. I was wondering what this, if this is good for streamers. I would think a lot of people are looking for entertainment.
Yeah.
So if you're a content creator on Twitch, I imagine this is probably a fairly good time for you guys.
The only thing that's annoying is now everybody's trying to do it.
I was gonna say, I bet on the flip side of that coin, I bet you there are a lot more people. Why would I watch stream? I'll just turn on my webcam
because I'm wonderful. Like
yeah.
But no, my stream, like I had started earlier and it was kind of a social experiment. I didn't expect it to go anywhere. I didn't think people would necessarily find it interesting, but I majored in psychology. Like I have a brain actually. So people come to my stream because they think I'm a dingbat because my character is a dingbat. But it was kind of a psychological experiment, and like a lot of my group, they send me messages, like they update me if they're not around, like they ask me questions, like live questions and stuff like that. So it's interesting, and
You're a psychologist?
Well, I mean, I majored in psychology and French, so je parle petit français aussi, and so I have.
Je ne sais quoi. Parlez-vous français et sacrez-vous?
Je ne sais pas is a good one to know. Or if you want to say it in
La
slang.
fin du monde. That's kind of fitting
so
for right
sad.
now, right?
It's like La fin du monde. Oh. I like je m'en fiche, which is like the really like casual way of being like, yeah, I don't care. Like, you know,
Nice.
it's like just like, please. Isn't that fun? Je m'en fiche.
Je m'en fiche.
You're like, ugh.
Je m'en fiche. Ugh.
Just get, ugh.
Stupid American.
Exactly. Although they never thought I was American when I studied there. They thought I was Eastern European.
Well, that's probably what you want, huh?
That's
They
true.
don't like Americans, huh?
They figured it out fairly quickly, but I was always really nice, and I never did speak English. Well, the family I lived with, I ended up getting in like welfare housing, and they took in like exchange students to make extra money and stuff. But when you fill out the form, you say, do you want to live in the country, the city, blah, blah. I was like, well, I want to live in the city. I want to, I don't want a lot of kids.
That'd be a tough call.
Well, I didn't realize that.
Country would be kind of cool in another country.
It's beautiful because they have like chalets out there, and it's like, But no, I found out later that it was like, government housing, and that's why people's laundry were hanging out the windows, and like.
Oh shit! They send you to government housing when you do that stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
could you imagine if they did that here? Because they don't do that. There's no way they would do that here.
I mean,
take foreign exchange students and put them in government housing.
They had a little tiny room, but it was nice. I mean, I had a great view of the courtyard and what was going on and what all the neighbors were doing.
Come to America from Germany and come stay in Section 8.
It's called an HLM. It's called an HLM. That's it. Yeah.
Could you imagine? That would not fly here, I don't think.
Like everybody else had chalets. And my family was the only family that didn't speak any English, and I got kind of conned into studying abroad, and I'd only had 2 semesters of French, so I really didn't speak it at the time. And my family, it was a mom, and she was divorced, and her 17-year-old son, and he was always sneaking cigarettes and stuff. it was well, typical family, but like, they didn't speak English like at all, like.
So you just got immersed in it and just got to get pushed right into it and just, this is me now.
I was like,
that's cool.
I mean, it's like you're either going to starve and not go anywhere or just figure it out,
Yeah.
And I still, I'm not perfect, but I can make people understand what I need. So, and I do a lot. I'm really good with like hand talking, like acting it out and circumlocuting. So
circumlocuting?
That's what my French teacher says. It means
is that a word?
Yeah.
Is that one word?
Yes. So if you
circumlocuting.
Circumlocuting. So you're describing another word with other words that you know to try and explain what you mean.
Just trying to explain circumlocuting.
Yeah. So you're like you're circling it with these words, to try.
I got you. What a cool word.
And I know I learned it from her. It's like. Because she, on the exam, you have to talk, and
Man, I don't know any words. That's awesome.
You're just like, it's this thing that does this, that's like this.
She's one of these people that'll make you feel really stupid if you hang around her long enough.
Oh, no. I fall into things. I just never say no, really. I mean, I'd say
that's why
no.
you're Slutterbell.
Right? I'm not going to, do ritual sacrifice. Now, I might vlog it as long as it's not an animal. I mean, I really like animals. But if it's, like, a mean person and they probably deserve it, then I can handle that.
Okay.
But I love to attend. I got invited to a peyote ceremony.
Really?
Yeah.
Around here?
And it's actually in Fayetteville. And it's a
Fayetteville, Arkansas.
It's a group of fairies. It's a private group, and they've been watching me.
They've been watching you?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, there is really fairy culture?
Yeah.
And they watch you. Do you watch other fairies?
No.
Were you aware of this fairy culture? Are you
I'm an urban fairy.
Are you educating yourself in fairy culture ever since you've kind of learned about that there is one that exists?
I just kind of listen to what people say, just to see how their take on it so that I can sort of try and fit into situations. So...
Can you tell me your definition of a fairy?
I just think fairies are, I'm the every fairy, so like an everyman, like fairies are like everybody else. I mean, we've got magic, but maybe we don't have like the best magic, like my magic's like I like change my hair color with my mood and stuff.
Your hair looks
that.
Beautiful, by the way.
Thanks.
You have incredible hair. For most people listen to this, they don't necessarily view it.
Well, it's not real.
That's
is a
not
wig.
real?
Yeah, this is my weave. No, it's a wig.
That's a wig?
I have like over 50
Oh,
wigs.
wow. How dumb am I? Do you think I'm really dumb for thinking that's real hair?
No, because my actual hair is pink right now at the moment, like a pale pink.
Well, it
so
looks like real hair, and it goes from like this light,
it's
beautiful
an ombre.
pink, and then it goes into like where it looks like you have dark roots, but it blends into it. And it looks like it goes really good. It's really cool.
It's lace front. If you need a good wig, get a lace front wig.
What's that? Okay.
I mean,
Anyway, all right. Sorry, I got distracted. So your
stuff I've
definition of
learned
a
as I went.
yeah. So your definition of a fairy.
just, I mean,
Maybe
know,
you don't have the best magic. You can change your hair.
maybe some people do have great magic, or some people don't. I think being a tooth fairy is a government job. It's like the Supreme Court. Once you're in until you die. Like I'm like, I don't take people's teeth. That's nasty.
That is nasty.
I know. It's like, no, it's not for me. And yeah, it's kind of like I study abroad in like the human world, and that's how I go to all the events. Is I ask questions that and people can explain and tell me all about their whatever they're doing.
An April O'Neil of fairies, if you will.
Yes, exactly. Of course, on the playground. Oh my gosh, I was like, no, I'm not Donatello. I'm April. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow, I love your answer.
So I set up that I help. I leading questions, and but I look like an idiot, and then they look smart, and so because people get nervous in improvised situations, and I'm like, oh, don't worry, I'll take the fall. I won't let you fail.
You're a professional.
I do, and I have 3 rules.
You're an improv fairy.
I am. I studied at the Groundlings. Like
Really?
yeah.
You should be huge.
Well,
I mean, I don't know.
have been
I don't.
eating a little bit more lately.
Haha, that's
but,
funny. I mean, I don't know. I know very little about you. I've stumbled upon your Instagram somehow.
Well, I have 2. I have there's my human identity and my fairy identity because
I don't know I don't know how I stumbled upon your fairy persona on Instagram, and it's probably a hashtag.
Probably.
And I just like, oh, this is interesting. This is like your all your I pretty much only fuck with Instagram.
Yeah, I love Instagram. I'm like Lisa Frank on acid is my style of decorating photos.
I showed your thing to somebody, and they said she looks like she's on acid.
Lisa Frank on acid. Oh my gosh, I hit it. Yes. Do you remember Lisa Frank, like the Trapper Keeper, like the dolphins and unicorns and like
Yes.
So that's my aesthetic.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Wow. So anyways, I stumbled upon your Instagram, and then I started watching your videos. I was like, is this? And I just got wrapped. I was like, is she for real, or is this like fake? Like she's like this, and I'm like, I was like, okay, I think I get it. And it took me a little while to get it. I was like, yeah, she would be fun to have on the podcast, and so I reached out. So all I know really about you is just a little bit of your Instagram stuff.
Well, I mean, I'm a SAG union actress. Like I do commercials and a lot of voiceover, to, pay the bills and stuff like that. And I help co-host a radio show for my friend because he lost his co-host. And
What's the radio show?
Big Dumb Fun Show.
Big Dumb Fun?
Big Dumb Fun Show.
How do you find it?
He's on, we have Facebook. We live stream Facebook too, as well as.
Is it like a Facebook radio show? Like how?
I mean,
like
you can hear it on Facebook, and you can see us too. But I think like he had a Periscope. You can get it on iTunes, and there's a website, bigdumbfunshow.com, that kind of thing. And
I mean, is it like a podcast, or is it like on the radio? Like
it's more podcasty. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying, like how would somebody be able to find it?
It's not on a station.
Like is it on Spotify?
Yes.
Okay.
So
podcast app, Apple iTunes podcast app.
Yes, he's got all those. Yeah. Like the back episodes and everything like that. And yeah, we just interview local anything.
Oh, he's
really.
Local?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I do it every Monday night. It's super fun because I'm kind of learning like radio, buttons and.
Where do you do you do this at the radio station?
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
yeah.
Which one?
Well, he has his own.
Oh, jeez.
Like he rents his own little studio, and it's in this old ice building. Like it's really cool.
Nice. Okay.
So
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
How long you been doing that? Just a little bit?
Well, I was a guest, like a long time ago, and then I was a guest again, and then, you know, he just had fun, and he kept having me come back more often and often. And then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, my co-host is gone. Would you like to just do it? And I'm like, all right.
Nice.
So yeah, I got to go kayaking for the first time ever at the sports show.
Ooh.
Live streaming kayaking, ferry. So that was interesting. Well, I theme everything. You know, I had the plaid, you know, with glittery boots and, you know, wings, and just they shoved me in a kayak and off I went.
Did you enjoy it?
Actually, they said I was a natural.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm not athletic at all.
No?
No, not
Just takes coordination with a kayak, right? Strength, stamina,
and thought.
There
were a lot of children in the water, and I didn't want to hit
Ooh,
them,
children will definitely motivate you when you don't want to fuck up a kid.
Because I do that enough with my wings. I wing people, like, because when I'm out.
How big are your wings usually?
The Widowmakers.
Because you got wings on now, but they're just like
these
elephant
are my
ear.
wings.
Like, not even, no, I'm sorry, not elephant ears. They're like.
These are the driving wings, so that, you know.
Driving wings, they're.
It's important. But the Widowmakers are like 3 feet tall.
8 inches a side or something. 8, 9 inches. Something.
My Widowmakers are like, but you know, if you turn too fast, you forget and you just knock kids
over all day.
You know, it's just like whoa, boom, boom, you know, and you hear it in the wings because they're made of like steel and this laminate stuff, and so you're just boom, boom. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you want a picture? Okay, sure. So yeah, for big appearances, I always wear the massive wings and everything.
So after that first Comic-Con, you did an Instagram video, just coming up with this fairy character. And it takes off.
So I did another one.
Did another video.
Yep.
And that one does good.
Yep. And then it just kind of, and then about a week later is when I started getting private messages like, you know, you make me want to get up in the morning. I don't understand your videos. They're really dumb, but they make me smile, and you make me realize that there's a reason, you know, to keep living. So thank you. I mean, people were saying that to me
right off the bat.
Yeah, that I'd never met before.
Wow. And it really took off, like.
And I don't know why, because the videos are real dumb. I'll admit it. I do it on purpose that they're dumb,
right?
You know, and I was like, how can I stop after that? You know,
you get it after a couple videos because, you know, you do the looking around with your eyes and like, yeah, it's wonderful.
But I made Reddit fails 3 times.
What's Reddit? I don't know. I just got Reddit recently, but I haven't really messed with it. It's like a message board type
of like
platform.
Everything. Yeah, of like anything you could imagine. I don't really get it either, but they have a live stream fails, like where people screw up and they make fun of them.
Oh, so you've made that?
Yeah.
People make fun of you?
Because I give life advice.
Fairy life advice, or
yeah,
is that for us humans or is that for fairies?
Well, it's like what I think.
Human advice from a fairy?
Yeah. Or I'll ask questions, and people think that that's really how I am. And so they clip it and put it on Reddit fails.
I love that. You gotta love that.
It's hysterical. I'm so good at failing. Like, I'm so proud of myself. Like my life
so
skill
much
is
comedy.
failing.
There's comedy in failing.
Well, one of the best compliments I ever got was it takes a lot of brains to play dumb convincingly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like anybody can be like that, but like I'm genuine. I'm like genuinely dumbfounded when I interview people, and so it just kind of comes off. People are like, "Oh, is she really that?" And I make up words, or I slightly alter words. I'm like for Columbus Day, I was like, they wanted to call it like National Androgynous Peoples Day or something, and I'd get comments like it's Indigenous people, and I'm like,
thanks,
Thank
Sophie.
you.
Yeah, you didn't get it. You obviously didn't get it. But it's gotta be fun messing with the people that don't get it.
Oh yeah,
That's gotta be a real, like, you could have fun with those people all day.
That's what I do. Like when the trolls come in and, you know, are saying mean things to me, like then I play with them. It's like a spider with like insects.
When you put yourself on the internet, you have to have real thick skin.
Oh yeah.
And you have to know who these people are. A lot of times it's just kids.
When you don't know who the people are, they're usually like 19 to 25 would be my guess.
I think like I've seen like
kids.
Some are like kid like 13.
13. Mine is a mature
They're always
age.
like the ones that like to use the racist ones, like
Oh yeah.
They're dropping the N word all
And
over
they
the place.
spell it,
and
but they spell it different so that it doesn't get caught
and
by
it's
the
yeah, and it's always like 13-year-old kids that think they're I think they're just trying to be as shocking as they possibly can.
And nothing shocks me at all. So, I
Yeah, you must get called horrible things.
Oh yeah, all the time. But like I said, it has nothing to do with me. Trolls are miserable creatures, and they see happiness and they try to destroy it, and I just don't let them. And they either become friends. I convert a large amount of trolls to actually followers that hang out and like to be there, and they're like, I can't be mean to you anymore. I give up. Or you see like in the chat like their brains melting down. Because I just keep complimenting them and asking them if they're okay and like what's going on, and like nothing bothers me. Or if they say something like, I don't know, like, you probably have a fat ass. I'm like, actually, I don't. I was blessed with this, or cursed with this disease. It's the flat ass disease. It's like a black hole, it just sucks in extra matter, but it stays flat. I sit on people and it cuts them with the bones. And, because the things that
those asses are out there. I've seen the flat ass syndrome.
I do.
It's like, girl, do some squats. Eat some cornbread.
I can't though.
Do some squats.
Cause
get that thing. If it's important to you. If not, hey, I'm sure there's dudes out there that like a flat ass.
I mean,
or don't need a good ass. Like,
I know how to dress for my body, so.
How often are you doing the fairy thing?
Every single day.
Every day.
Yes.
It's just your life now. Like, so at what point did you go from doing some Instagram videos, or did it just start immediately as soon as you got that instant reaction of it being good? Were you like, damn, boom, I'm a fairy now?
And I had to separate that account from my main account because I just did it on my main account.
That makes sense. Oh, yeah.
And so then I was like, and so then I started a Facebook page, to see how that would go. And then, I just kept adding as I went and stuff. And I just recently, a week ago, started a TikTok.
Oh, we were just talking, Charlie and I were just talking about it earlier before you got here about TikTok. That ain't, I'm too old for that, I think.
I'm too old for it. I was born 30 and I'm 34 now, so I'm technically 64 mentally.
You're 34, so you were, 31 when you started this?
Yeah, so 32, yeah, 31, 32. Yeah, I had my birthday, so yeah.
So 32, you decided to get into cosplay.
Well, I'm an actress. I'm a professional actress, so, and I was creating a character because I studied at the Groundlings, and creating a character is going to teach you. And now, yeah, I mean, I meet celebrities, and, like, it's just bizarre. I knocked out the new voice of Yoda, the new Disney voice of Yoda. Like, I winged him in the head on accident. They were doing a leading up to Comic-Con event before it got canceled.
Right.
And he was like the special guest, but I didn't know what he looked like, to be fair. And
Baby Yoda?
Well, he's really tall, but he was bent over, and so I had the Widowmakers on, and they, But we're Facebook friends now. It's totally cool.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I brained Yoda.
Is there any local? Do you have any local cosplayers that you guys like you get together with and do things with, or are you just kind of more of a solo act?
Well, there are a couple of groups that are very close knit, and we're cool, like, but I'm not exactly a cosplayer because I don't just do like pictures and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I have a character and I have a whole story.
So you're slightly different. You're like
I have an episodic. It's almost like a soap opera. Like I would put out episodes and stuff like that. And I have some like established characters because some of my friends are like, dude, can I be a fairy? And it just kind of grew like that.
Apparently anybody can be a fairy.
Anybody.
Like, you created this thing overnight and it's taken off, but it takes commitment. Like, you've committed. Yeah. You've been doing this for a couple years now, like every day straight. You like live the fairy life.
I literally do.
What's your family think about it? What did they think when you first switched over, or when they were like, "Oh, she really is doing this"?
Well, my mom was a hippie, and she streams with me. She's Mutterbell. And every now and then she'll come on and she'll do a video or something. And one time we were live streaming, she's like, I remember back in the 70s, I dropped acid once. And I'm just like, oh God. So, I mean, she's really supportive.
You didn't want to hear it?
Oh, she told the whole story.
I would love if I know my parents haven't, but if like Ryan, I gotta tell you a secret. Don't tell your brother or your sister, but when I was like 19, I did acid. I'm like, oh my God, I'd love to hear that story, but it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist for not my parents.
My parents are, well, my dad disowned me recently for reasons I don't really know. I think he's got like dementia, so I don't hold it against him. I'll check in, I check in with him.
Put some fairy dust on them.
Exactly. But my mom's married to a rabbi, which that's interesting. And
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Wow.
I know, it just keeps getting better.
What's he think of this?
He actually really likes it.
Yeah.
He's a reform rabbi, and he just thinks it's hysterical. And I have an LLC. Like, I mean, I made a business out of it.
You made a business out of being a fairy?
Yeah, I never.
What's the best way to make your money? Going to these events or?
Yeah, like whenever I MC or host things. I mean, charity I do for free, obviously, and like the promos, I shoot little promos around town, and I do that for free for like local businesses because it's just little things, and
Yeah.
and I also work in trade, like because fairies need a lot of stuff. I discovered.
What do you need?
Well, I mean, I want nice lights and, camera equipment, for when I stream. Like, I don't want to just be jank and, like, so I get money that way, and, I replace things as they break. Outfits, wigs wear out.
Wigs, you must spend a lot of money on your costume stuff or your.
Luckily, I sort of dressed like this anyway when I started, so that was helpful. But like, yeah. And then Wish noticed me that. Have you ever heard of Wish, the app? It's like it's from China, and you can buy literally anything on it. It takes like a month to get here, but it's super cheap.
Okay.
Well, so I had bought a few things, and then I did reviews as the fairy, but they were serious reviews. Like but I was the fairy. And they liked it so much they offered me, like, they send me free stuff. And
to review.
Yeah.
Can you ask for certain things like, hey, I want this?
It's
I'd love to review this.
It's like what the manufacturer wants, but they have my sizes, and they have my profile of like my style of stuff that I do, so
big time.
So you get free. It's
Damn,
like, it's
I'm doing
Christmas.
this all wrong. I gotta come up with something, Charlie. I need a mask or some horns or I need to be the podcast devil or something like that. I don't know. Just
you come up with you'd be surprised because I make people come up with a character on the spot before they shoot a video immediately.
Yeah.
And what comes out it's great. It's so fun. Like the last one I did, Twinkle Tush is what came out.
Twinkle Tush.
Yeah. Like I just let people choose, because it's their thing, and then like by the second or third, because all the videos I do them in 1 minute increments and release them like episodically, and they're all improv, and I only take the first take, and they're a minute or less. Those are my rules.
Nice. I have my own little rules like that for like my intro. I do an intro for the podcast every week. And I always do whatever the first take is, so whatever comes out of my mouth.
Well, because it's genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't want to sound. I don't want it rehearsed, and
Right.
and when people break and laugh, it's even more genuine because it fits in, And that's why I always say, I'm like, I know you're afraid, but I am not gonna let you fail. You will not fail. You'll feel like an idiot, and then you'll watch it, and you'll be like, oh. Because all of those videos, anything that you saw, like it was completely.
I've only seen the ones with you. You've done stuff with other people.
I just talk to myself. I do it a lot with other people.
Okay,
yeah.
I haven't seen that. I just been seeing your solos.
Well, recently, I just talk to myself or the pig.
The pig, yeah.
Yes.
So this fairy culture, are you getting involved with it, or do they just kind of reach out to you? Like, what's up with this online fairy stuff?
Well, I mean, I look at the other fairy Instagram accounts, and they don't really look anything like me. They're beautiful, but I don't do like the whole like corsets and flowy skirts.
Are they all like, and they're all against you? Like, even though you said the fairy culture, like the fairies kind of watch you. Are there like good fairy groups that are embracing what you're doing, or do a lot of them dislike it? Like,
it's kind of split.
What's your status in the fairy world?
It's split. Like, I get my wings custom made now. I don't buy like Amazon like strap-on wing. Like mine are like made and stuff, and I have
those are made.
Yeah.
Who makes them? You?
It's an Etsy shop. So I have three
dope.
Etsy shop. Yeah. And they're also fairy. They do stuff, and so they're cool with me. But I had one wingsmith. that
Wingsmith.
and I wanted a custom order. You know, we were working together, and then she saw, you know, my, you know, everything and my aesthetic and everything, and she's like, I'm sorry, I just can't in good conscience make these wings for someone who does not embrace the fairy culture as it should be embraced. And I was like, and she was actually,
She's dead ass serious.
yeah, and
She's turning business away.
Yeah, like cash money, because I wasn't even gonna go through Etsy. I was just gonna go through her and meet up because she wasn't that far away. And like, yeah, so
Wow, this is serious. Like with these, are these fairies that are against you? So they're like the woodland fairies.
yes.
Are they fairies every day? Do they just do it for Renaissance and for like Planet Comic-Con, or like how dedicated are they to their fairiness?
I think
They can't be anywhere nearly as dedicated as you.
No, and mine was by accident. I didn't want to be. Yeah, it's just like that. I ended up getting paid because I
That's
don't.
what happens with every superhero.
Well,
You don't want to be. It just becomes.
It's
you
your
just become-
calling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I refuse to say like professional anything until you're being paid. Like,
Right.
you know, people who are like, I'm a model, but they just like, you know, take
Mhm.
pictures for no.
For Instagram.
But like some of these people will have business cards that say professional fairy, but they don't get paid. Like I actually like make money as the fairy. I mean, I didn't start out that way, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm a professional fairy, like it's and a SAG union, you know, actress, like, but yeah, I bet they wish they could dress like this all the time. I sometimes wish.
But I mean, why don't they can? Like them getting mad and upset about it, they should be turning that towards them and being like, "Here, this every fairy is out here killing the game,
I'm urban.
and I'm this. And yeah, you're urban. You're.
I go to like restaurants and stuff.
You're
I'm like,
free
hey,
spirit.
what's
You're a
up?
city fairy.
I am, yeah.
Kansas City fairy.
I am.
And then you get these little woodland fairies out there that are all pissed off. If they would just look, you're giving the blueprint on how to be a successful fairy.
Well,
I mean, come on, woodland fairies. Look at what she's doing, and you do it. Be a woodland fairy on Instagram and Twitter, and just do your culture. Do your little floating around a tree or something, whatever it is you do, and get your hustle that way. Don't look at what you're doing. You're putting together a blueprint for other fairies to follow. Instead of hating on that, they need to embrace it and blow up too. Get all the fairy culture getting together. I mean, geez,
be
people,
different. Well, like
fairies.
I have friends. I have companions. Like one's a goth fairy. I mean, because I let everybody choose whatever they want to be, and she's like pasty pale and wears like dark wigs.
You can't stifle imagination.
I have fairies of every ilk. My fairy godmother, she's always got a cigarette hanging out of her mouth, and like, you know, I mean, and once again, and I tell them never to tell me, and we just start the video, and I just because I like to be genuinely surprised, you know, so it's real, and I've had so many people just, you know, be in it, or they'll say they don't want to, and then like 1 or 2 videos in, they're like, can I maybe? I mean, just if you have time, can you know? I'm like, that's why I always bring extra wings in the car.
Wow.
Inevitably.
Everybody wants, yeah. Are fairies primarily female?
No.
Okay, hold on.
And they're not even gay. That's the thing. It's like middle-aged, like men that, you know.
Middle-aged straight
Yeah.
men.
Yeah.
Fairies.
Totally.
Woodland ones, or
No.
how many are most fairies woodland, or are like are you the outcast? Are there very few street fairies, hood fairies?
I'm the outcast. If I find another street fairy, we're gonna throw some bows. Like it's not gonna be pretty. Yeah. And the people that I, you know, get into the videos, they make up their character. I have a ninja fairy, you know. I have my agent, because I want to be an actress as a fairy. So I have an agent fairy, you know. Like I have.
All right, there's a whole fairy community.
Exactly.
For you guys, the whole city, a city fairy union. You guys got a union.
we should, and yeah, we go out, and then my Marvin.
Can I be that's what I would be. I'd be the union fairy, like.
There you go. You're like
the New Jersey union boss fairy. You know, I'd have to grow up.
Following.
Yeah, I'll wear a wife beater and a gold chain, slick my hair back.
Nice. I mean, I've had people I just, like I said, I let them have free reign and do whatever comes into their brains.
I love it.
And it'll even be people that aren't actors. but they'll just want to play, and like business owners and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They'll just get into it.
It's fun.
So it's great. I just like to make people happy, and teach them that their brains. When you're put on the spot like that, you'd be surprised what your brain will come up with. Like
Yeah.
just trust yourself.
I think most people are creative if they just allow themselves to be.
Right.
A lot of
aren't
people,
afraid.
yeah, you can't be afraid. That's the thing. You can't be afraid to look stupid or sound stupid.
You just gotta do it.
I embrace the stupidity.
I mean, I literally, if I have gigs, like I have somewhere to go, I'm not gonna change. Like if I have to go to the grocery store or the gas station, I just go like this. Like I don't care anymore at this point. Like I don't even
You're
notice.
used to it.
Yeah. It's like
It's attention. Do you carry business cards?
I do.
Yeah, of course. Just hand out business cards when you're checking out apples and bananas or whatever. Hey, fairy, what's up? Here's my business card. Yeah, it makes sense.
And people aren't mean. I have never had any like negative reactions ever.
No, people are cowards. They save that for online.
And the only thing they'll say is, "Are you?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm a fairy," and that's all I say. I don't even like explain it, and they're like, "Okay."
Well, there could be so many different answers. Oh, you just came from somewhere
Right.
doing something. Clearly, you don't.
I'm just like, "No, I'm a fairy."
No, yeah.
And the best, I was waiting in line for coffee, and the guy in front of me was like, "Me too."
Nice.
So yeah, and I have certain places that my haunts that know me, so they're like, "Hey, fairy." So it's kind of fun. And I started recently making special posts for my neighborhood group, on Facebook, and just throwing them in there and peppering them in. And I've had people send me, private messages and videos of like their kids watching the videos, because I make sure not to do like for that kind of thing, not to.
Oh yeah, are your videos safe for everybody?
Yeah, for
I haven't
Instagram
paid attention.
and Facebook and stuff like that. Some of them might reach PG-13, but
Oh, that's fine.
I keep those clean. Like my Twitch account is not safe for work.
Okay, that's fine.
But well, that's because I'm streaming for 3 or 4 hours, and
Your TikTok will probably be more towards kids, huh?
Yeah, yes.
Because that's like a kid's platform.
And
I
you're
think.
like dancing, and you have 15 seconds. You know what I mean?
I don't know anything about TikTok.
Well, I'm learning daily
Yeah.
as I go. And the stupider the
It's
post,
Chinese.
the
They're gonna steal your information. That's all I
That's
know.
alright.
They're gonna hack into you. They're all right. They're watching you right now.
I know. Well, I always
As long
worry.
as who everyone else.
If you have a Siri, like, because my pig squeals, like he screams, and I mean it sounds like you're murdering children, like, and so I'm like, if I ever got a Siri and the government's listening, they just hear like thundering and clomping of hooves and me like, damn it, Dashel, eat, and and I'm like, I wonder what they would think.
How popular is the pig?
Uh,
People love the pig.
Oh yeah, some people come in, they're like,
Fairy and a pig.
they're like, I'm only here for the pig. I'm like, that's fine. He's better looking than me. It's fine. I get it.
You make money on Twitch, little
It's like,
donations and bits and all that stuff.
yeah, and subscriptions and yeah.
Yeah. How's this quarantine gonna work out for you? Are you
I'm doing
worried
extra
or
streams.
nervous that you're gonna lose out on gigs or?
Well, I mean, I'm worried for the SAG part of me. Luckily, right before this happened, like literally right before, I did 3 national radio commercials for Sprint, and then I did a print shoot too. So I'm actually still waiting on checks, and then you get residuals from those as well.
Oh, sweet.
So I'll have some, that money coming in until the quarantine's lifted or whatever. But it's a little bit, here and there. I mean. So I do what I can. And like I said, I work in trade too. So if I need something,
Right.
I usually know someone who has something that I need. And I'm like, I'll do promo videos for you, and, we'll trade out that way.
Oh,
and
sweet.
So I mean, I'm going to spend the money on it anyway. So I figure I'll just skip the step and just get the
Yeah.
stuff,
Hell yeah. Communist fairy.
Well, it worked for some people.
You got any fairy inspirations?
Well, that's not where I get my Reddit fails from, because people have a bad habit of entering my stream when I'm in the middle of talking about something and hearing something out of context. So like one of my Reddit fails was somebody, it was a troll, and he was like, you look like an aged crack whore or something like that. And I was like, what is it with people always saying that whores have to be going for crack? Why do you have to be a whore for crack? Why can't you be a Target whore or a Starbucks whore?
You're right.
I was like, why does it always come down to crack? I think you should be able to whore for anything. And that got me like, because somebody thought I was serious.
Right,
giving
right.
that advice.
I
you
love
know?
it.
And one was I was talking about cleaning the pig, and they came in right as I was saying, now, don't forget, clean your creases. So, but that's a good motto. I think that everyone should keep in mind. Or I'll talk really fast and I'll put two words together. I created my own word. I was saying clearly and literally at the same time. Clitorally. And so, I think it should be in the dictionary. And it has a lot of uses.
Put it in the
Clitorally.
Urban Dictionary.
I know. It's like, clitorally, it should be in the dictionary.
Literally.
Just
right.
drop it into conversation. People are like, what? It's like,
Duh. What do you mean? Urban
Just say
Dictionary,
it.
that shit, you know what that means.
And doesn't it flow? And it makes sense.
Kind of. I mean,
It
yeah.
sounds dirty, but
it does
makes
sound
sense.
dirty, but I like it.
I mean, literally.
I like a little dirt.
I know. It's like people feel like, oh, but it actually just means, very literal.
Very literal.
So, see, smart brains.
You already got crazy brain. Psychology.
There-
Psychology major fairy. Boy, you got a lot going on. No wonder you got all this stuff going on with acting and cosplaying and your Twitter and all that stuff. Or not Twitter, Instagram and Twitch.
Yes. All of it. And now the TikTok. I'm just
Now
not
the
good
TikTok.
at it. I'm not good at it. The stupider, the better. And
You got to do dancing on that, right? So come up with some cool fairy dances. And you and your pig do little fairy dances, right?
Well, last night I did party like a rock star with my cat, and I was like, "What's your Saturday night like?" I'm like, with my clearly, hip moves. Like, if I popped and locked and dropped it, then I wouldn't get up again. I'd be like, "Oh, okay, I'm stuck." I pop, locked, and dropped it once. I'm locked.
Yeah, I remember that song came out. Pop, lock, and drop it. Oh my gosh, that was a long time. That's an old ass song.
I know. Well, that's what I play them on stream and I sing
Yeah.
them to them.
You don't get copyright strikes for that?
Well, I'm not like a huge streamer. I'm not like an official partner. I'm an affiliate. Partners are where you make, ads and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was an affiliate. I used to mess around with Twitch for
Yeah.
a long years ago.
I mean, it takes a minute to get to, partner status. So, I
Yeah.
mean, they don't pay that much attention to me. They might censor a stream if there's a song playing, but I usually keep the music pretty low.
I think it'll be just the replays that they...
Right, exactly. It's the
mess
videos.
up, yeah.
Yeah. So you can play it on the stream live. It's just, they won't let you
Yeah.
keep it, basically.
So there's no, fairies you look up to or try to emulate or inspire you or anything like that? Or from movies or real characters or Instagram fairies, anything? Do you...
Not fairies.
No?
I really admire Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubens.
Yeah.
I had his teacher at the Groundlings, actually.
Oh, wow.
She was one of my instructors, and he created Pee Wee Herman at the Groundlings.
Wow.
Long ago. And because, his show, it was just really, it didn't make any sense. He had talking furniture and a pterodactyl, but it worked, and Phil Hartman was on there.
I
Lawrence
make it like a high, make a
Yeah.
hiney ho.
It's and I just loved it was just this happy character in this really weird world that made no sense yet made sense. And I did that. And then Christopher Guest, the director, I don't know if you've ever seen Best in Show or Waiting for Guffman or A Mighty Wind.
Best in Show, is that the dog one?
Yes.
Yes, with
It
who's
has
the guy? That guy's
Eugene Levy.
Yeah. No, the other one. The guy, one of the announcer guy.
He's
that
in
guy's
everything.
so funny.
And he's in a lot of Christopher Guest movies.
Yeah.
And
That guy cracks me up.
Christopher Guest, he's the six-fingered man in The Princess Bride, if you want to know what he looks like.
Oh,
He
that's an
acts
old,
too.
okay.
So, but he directs, and his directing style is there's a point A and there's a point B, and he just films his actors improving, and then he takes the best, so they know where the scene needs to end.
Those are the best shows and movies when they allow their
'Cause
good
it's
actors to
genuine.
do that stuff. Yeah.
And that's how I shoot all my videos because, point A,
Yeah.
point B, I don't care how we get there. So
What's do you have any goals or aspirations, or are you just kind of, this is what I do and whatever happens, or are you looking down 5, 6, 7 years down the road for something?
Well, I mean, my ultimate goal in life is, as an actress, I'd like to have a space and a theater of my own, just that only does comedies, new works and old, and just to make people have fun. Because everybody, social justice, they feel like it has to be drama, and
Yeah.
it's everything. And but you can reach just as many people through comedy and stuff. And so like by the time I'm 40, I would like to have my own space. But Slutterbell, you know, I'll sell her out gladly.
Hence the name.
And I actually have a pilot in the works. When I was in LA, I knew some people and I've met some people, and it's not one of those like pipe dreams. It's like I have a plan, and I mean, most pilots don't make it, but
Right.
but my Sizzler is going to be awesome. So it's because weird random story. My mentor is George Wendt and
Oh, George Wendt, really?
Norm from Cheers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know who George Wendt is.
When I was one of the bar people giving out free shots, this drunk man was at a bar and he was like, "You need to meet George Wendt. He's going to change your life." And then he fell over. And I was like, okay. I was like 22 at the time. And then like a few years later, he was in town doing a show, and a friend of mine was in the show with him at New Theater Restaurant. And
Oh, George Wendt was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I've seen him. He's been in town
he
for
travels.
yeah, doing plays.
He loves doing theater.
Yeah.
He's a theater guy.
Yeah.
And so my friend told him that story, and he's like, "Well, I've got to meet her." So he comped me the show, and then I went out with the cast afterwards, and we just hit it off. Like it, we had so much in common, and
Yeah.
and now years later, I FaceTime him at least once or twice a month, and when I was in LA, we'd have lunch every week.
Oh, cool.
So, and he's like, because since he's supposed to change my life, it's going to be like, it's a mockumentary kind of.
I love those.
Short,
I love those. Yeah.
because it's part true. We'll be traveling to Florida because when I was 15, randomly for money, I sat for this painter in a window, and he did this giant oil painting of me as a fairy, ironically, when I was 15.
Whoa.
And he still has it, and I found him. And he's all for us, like, making this journey. And so I was like, for my Sizzler reel, to get people to look at it, it's just, I wake up and George Wendt sitting on the foot of my bed, just smiling. Not as a fairy, just George.
Just George.
Yep. And then, kind of detail the plot and the ideas. And then, if it did get picked up, I mean, that'd be a guest starring role for, and I just random, like, we'd be at a hotel and I'd wake up and George Wendt sitting on the foot of my bed, like.
Wow.
Because he was like, "I don't really want to wear like wings and glitter." I was like, "Oh no. I just want you as you." I was like, "Remember, you're supposed to change my life." And I was FaceTiming him, and he was like, he just got this look on his face. He was like, "You're right. Oh my gosh."
Wow.
So yeah.
I'd like to have a mentor in general, let alone look at you got George Wendt as one.
I respect the man. I think he's great. Like when I'm having a bad acting day, I'll text him and he'll text me back. Like, and he's been in Slutterbell videos with me. Like, I mean, it's kind of flattering to think that somebody with a reputation and a career has faith in my silly little whatever it is.
Is there, like, I mean, acting here in Kansas City, like, do you have to travel a lot for that? Like, I mean, is there much opportunity out here, I guess is what I'm trying to get at?
Not for union. So, like, union stuff, not as much. But when I get the auditions, I've got a decent enough kill rate, But like, I produce my own plays too. I produced 3 different plays, and I've traveled those. And I was supposed to go with one of them to Edinburgh this summer, but they canceled the Fringe. And if you've never heard of Edinburgh Fringe Festival, it's the largest theater festival in the world.
Oh, wow.
It started in Edinburgh, like actual
It's
like
probably got some
celebrities
history
go.
to it there.
Oh yeah, the whole town basically shuts down.
Oh,
and
cool.
It lasts for a month. So I was gonna take my one woman show there, but not now. But I've taken it to like the New York Fringe, and I've taken it to LA, and I've gotten it produced out there, and
Dang.
And then I have one that has other people. Well, I have 2 that have other people in it because I have ulcerative colitis, and I don't know if you know what that means. You get ulcers on your colon, and then you uncontrollably have to poop like 30 times a day. Like,
do you know when it's coming? Like,
no.
oh, this can be a bad day.
Well, and that's what the one woman show started about. It was just True stories.
It could just hit at any moment, bam, and then I gotta go home, and I'm staying home all day.
Oh, you don't even have 30 seconds. It'll be like, I'm fine, and oh my.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I shared some of the more memorable ones. Like,
Yeah.
like at Motown the Musical, I was in the audience and I couldn't get out. And well, just like, and like, the bathroom was full and I pooped in the litter box once. Like, you make it work. So but it's not. I don't.
Whose
make it
litter
gross.
box?
My cats. And then they watched me. They shamed me. I was like, I'm gonna clean it out, you guys. I swear.
You make them clean it out.
I know, right? They're like, Mom, what are you doing?
Your turn.
And I'm like, But like, yeah, I shared some of my more memorable moments at the time, and then of course, afterwards, I started getting contacted by people. I feel so much better. Like I don't.
Because they're dealing with the same issue.
I have so many poop stories. Everyone I meet tells me their poop story. And I'm always like, if you don't have one, someday you will. I'm like, I'm sorry to curse you, but you will one day.
Everyone's got a shit story.
Oh, yeah. And they have catchy titles. My one woman show is Poops, I Did It Again.
My favorite. I love Britney.
I know, I do too. Especially 2007
I wore my Britney shirt on the podcast last week.
I have one that says Mood 2007 Britney. Like, I love it. And then I did The Taming of the Pooh. Like the taming of the shrew, like ha 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 ha. And those were true stories, and I turned them into monologues. I kept the voice, but I gender bent, so I cast people. And then last summer we did 6 Degrees of Defecation. And nice. Joel Nichols, if you remember him ever, he was in it.
He had a podcast.
Yeah, I was on it.
Oh,
and he has another one now, but he was in
my
show. He does?
What is? I thought he.
Well, it was just a general one, and then now he does like crime stuff.
Oh, okay. He switched it up. Okay, because
Yeah.
he did have one, an interview style one.
Yes.
You Should Talk.
Yes, and I was on that.
Oh, okay.
Because he was in the show, so we. But
that dude seems cool.
He is. He's great. He's great.
Yeah, I had the the guy that runs his show, that did run his show.
Mm-hmm.
They had a podcast, Kansas City Media.
Where were you
the
talking
big
about?
Blonde guy.
Michael?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know Mike. I've worked with Michael.
Him and Kyle were on. I had them on the show about a little over a year, around a year ago, I think.
I know Michael well. He used to work at this ad agency before I was
yeah,
union, and I did commercials for him. And then he does an article and he writes things, and he did an article on me about a year ago and stuff. So
he's cool. I really like both of them. I had a really good time with them.
He's fun. He's snarky and fun, and I love Michael. I do. Yeah. So
can we take a break? I gotta pee.
Go.
Speaking of uncontrollable bathroom stops.
Yeah. I mean, it's better to use the toilet.
I've had a pot of coffee earlier, and I've been crushing this water.
I know. I need to drink some of it. I need to rehydrate myself.
Let's take a break, and then I'm gonna do another shot. Let's see, where were we before that nice little vodka?
I was telling my poop thing.
Oh, your poop
quick.
story. Yes, yeah, no colon, but you're still rolling.
Hell yeah.
You got no colon because you got
ulcerative colitis.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like Crohn's. It's a cousin to Crohn's, or like irritable bowel syndrome. But mine was such a severe case that like nothing worked, and like I was eating painkillers like candy for like 3 years.
Oh, I did that.
Like, I mean,
not for that long.
And I was like, I was dependent on them. Like I'll fully admit it. Like my body was dependent on
That's
them.
what they're designed for.
Yeah, and then the laws went into effect, and they ganked them from me. And
did you turn to heroin?
It was like I wanted to at one point. Like when I went through the
For
withdrawals, it was like, well, because coming off of that was like
it's
after
like
3
the flu,
years,
but hardcore.
And you're shaking, and it's oh my god, I'm like I understand why rehab does not work for people because I've been through it, But I use kratom now.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. And
I've wondered about that. I've heard a lot. I've watched some documentaries. I haven't done it. I have no reason to do it other than just to get high. Can I get high on it? You know what I mean? Like whatever the kratom high, whatever that is that?
It's very mellow. So there are 3 different strands, and I take the red, which is for pain management, and it's also for opioid withdrawal. And I normally I
there's 3 kinds.
Yeah, there's red, white, and green.
Okay, what are they all?
I know the red is the pain. One of them's for like
It's probably what I would want.
more for energy or something.
Oh.
Yeah, like so it's different parts of the plant. It's a plant.
Oh, yeah.
So
Kratom, I think it's actually.
and it's from like Bali and
Yeah, it's
Indonesia.
micro Asia country or something like that. Yeah.
And I've never had an herb or any holistic things work for me. I mean, it's great when people do. I'm not, against it. It's never worked for me. But, somebody suggested I try it. And when I was going through those withdrawals, like that's what helped me. And to this day, like I can't take Advil or Tylenol anymore because I was on painkillers for so long that they don't even do anything to me.
And Kratom works for you?
It really does. Yeah.
Where do you just get these Kratom shops?
Like the smoke shops. Yeah, I go to, it's like.
What's a good, is there a certain brand or kind that you stick to and get to? Because I know there's a lot.
Yeah.
I want to do it. I just don't know really where to begin. Like, I want someone to walk me through. Like, should I go in there just like, this is the brand I want?
They'll explain it to you.
How much? Yeah.
Like,
well, I got you. I got the Kratom fairy in front of me.
They come. You can
break it down for me.
You can get capsules. There's powder. I usually get the powder because it works faster.
You put it in liquid.
And it's chunky unless it's hot liquid, and it does not taste good. It smells. It tastes like drinking grass, if that makes sense.
I don't mind that.
Like it's just not. It's not like.
I cut the grass. It smells good. I could eat it.
It's like eating that.
I think I would like that.
So it's not sweet, you can make it sweet, I guess, if you want to. But the hot water at least makes it not as gritty.
You know who's really into Kratom?
Huh?
Is Slim Fast.
Oh yeah,
on 96.5 The Buzz.
It really. It's like a warm blanket, especially if you have pains. Like
he's into that, and I was talking to his producer Hartzell. We used to be his mailman. I was like, "Hey man, what do they do with that Kratom?" He goes, "Oh, the secret ingredient is Snapple. They put it in Snapple and shake it." He says
citrus.
That's
yeah.
So that's.
If you don't want to taste grass, put it in citrus, but it will be gritty because it's cold. It has to be hot to devote. So I just make like a tincture, and I just use the hot water and the Kratom, and then I just drink it as fast as I can. I just like chug it.
How often? When you're in pain, is that when you use it, or?
Yeah. Like, and
or if you want to do, does it get you high? Like, if you're just like, hey, I want to, when I say high, just whatever that Kratom high is, I'm sure there's some kind of.
It's just like that. Well, it's a lot like opioids, so that's
a high.
That floaty kind
of.
Oh
yeah,
like
who doesn't like an opioid?
The warm blanket, and
who doesn't like a hydrocodone?
And you're just like,
or 4.
Like, you're not like impaired, but you're just like,
is it like lean?
Nice.
Is it like a natural version of lean?
It's just a nice feeling. I mean, if you take
it's white people lean. Is that what it is, Charlie?
Look.
Is Kratom white people lean? It does sound like it, doesn't it?
I don't know if it works for everybody, but for me, it saved me because going through those withdrawals coming.
So you were using it. You started out using it for the withdrawals.
Yeah, because I didn't.
I've read about
pain
that.
Thing.
Yeah.
I was that person that's like, oh, you've had surgery. Do you ever have any extra anything? Because I was so desperate because I'd been on it for so long.
Yeah, Vicodin.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was on the hydrocodone, like the highest dosage.
Oh, you got to eat those like candy.
Yeah, and they also constipate you.
Yeah, they do.
I was pooping all the time, so it would make me regular. Like,
oh yeah, it balanced you out.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was a hard thing.
You should, Doc. Look, I'm not hooked on these things. I just need them for my poop. I need to regulate them. That's how what your prescription should have been for. Then it wouldn't have been just for pain. It would have been just for poop management.
It was everything. And he was fine with giving them to me. It was just that the regulations cracked down and my illness didn't technically count. And I'm like, well, thanks for making that decision for me,
Can I ask your age?
I'm 34. So.
Oh, okay. So you're a little younger.
But
there was a golden era.
Of real opiate,
where it was just easy to get, like doctors and dentists and chiropractors were just like, yeah, go get some oxycodone, go get some Oxycontin, go get this.
Yep.
And it was just there was like this, quotation mark golden era of that, and I went through that for a little bit, and it was a good time.
And now they regulate it so carefully.
But they need to. It fucks people up. It fucks so many communities up now.
People turn to heroin. They will go to heroin next. And
I know you're right.
If they're not getting it controlled, and they do control it and they watch it and monitor it very carefully, I mean, people do. They're like, well, if it'll make the pain stop. I mean, people are desperate enough, and I'm a big advocate of, if you want to do drugs, if you want to drink, whatever, it's your body, it's your choice, it's your decision.
Libertarian, I love it.
Like, if I want,
if you're not harming anybody, I don't care what you do to
Exactly.
yourself.
It's not like
I don't care what you
I
do.
don't go up to little kids and be like, here, have a hydrocodone. You'll have a great time. It's not, I use it for, or I used to use them for, actual medical reasons.
Everybody starts off like that.
And it's, yeah. Well, but I was like physically addicted versus mentally addicted.
No, I get it.
Like, yeah. So my body craved it. And
Yeah.
so,
A lot of drugs are like that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a huge problem in the United States.
Well, Adderall's bad too.
Antidepressants.
Yeah.
Adderall.
Because I take Adderall.
Diet pills were huge for a huge problem for a while for people. Like, it's American culture. Like, America, it's hard for us to have a culture because we're such a young country.
Yeah.
Only a couple 100 years ago. Like, how do you
How
have
do
a
you
real
compare? Yeah.
culture? But the newish culture seems to be, get fucked up.
But don't smoke. Like,
Are you kidding me? People are still smoking. It's
Like-
surprising. I was
no, you have to vape. Don't you want to be cool and smell like blueberries?
I would be if I was a vapor like right now, I would be really. If I was a vapor right now, I would go back to cigarettes with this COVID-19 stuff because I don't know, but they're kind of speculating vaping could have some adverse effects on you if you get this.
Well, it's anything with lungs, I guess.
Anything with lungs,
yeah.
but they're really. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't vape. I wouldn't vape.
I don't. I've never smoked because, like I said, I do voiceover, and lots of times, I'll wake up even if I smoke for a film. Like I've had to do fake smoking and stuff like that, and I
Your
practice.
wings are getting twisted.
It happens, fairy
Yeah,
problems.
you have a fairy chiropractor that can align you.
I just kind of bend them, but it's. I don't really smoke. When I had my medical license in California, I just sort of ate my weed. Like, I mean, it was legal. I mean, it's not like and they are the happiest people you will ever meet.
Who?
At the dispensaries. Like, you walk in there.
I've
they're
never
the-
been to a dispensary.
Oh, it's so fun.
Is it?
And they're knowledgeable. They tell you everything you want to know
Huh.
about every product. If
I'd be
you wanna
interested.
know.
I would definitely like to go into one and just
They're in cases.
see what it's like.
Yeah, it's all in cases, and you're like, what is it? What do the gummy bears taste like? Like, what does this do? What is it? And they'll try and give you a recommended, amount to take to start with, and it's fascinating. And like I said, they're the happiest people you'll ever meet.
You don't meet too many pissed off, stoned people.
No, you really don't.
You know,
But edibles, I mean, I just warn people,
edibles is another game. That's
it,
a whole nother game. That's like hallucinogens.
It's
Like they'll put you on a whole nother planet.
I mean, I ate half a cookie, and the cookies aren't even big. They're these little tiny,
Yeah.
And like I said, I was laying on the couch, and I rolled and fell off and fell on the floor. And unfortunately, for some reason, there was a marathon of the Vampire Diaries on, but I couldn't reach the remote.
Is that Sookie?
No, that's True Blood, which I kind of dig True Blood. But no, the Vampire Diaries, it's Ian Somerhalder from Lost, and they're teenage angsty vampires.
Oh,
you
my
know.
ex-wife was big into Vampire Diaries. Now I remember.
And they were books and
I
stuff.
never watched a single episode of it.
I watched at least 6 in a row because I laid on the floor for 6 hours because I just couldn't be motivated to get up.
I'm sure there's worse things to get stuck in watching for sure.
Well, in my head, I was thinking, I'm thirsty and I should probably make dinner, and I should get on the couch because I'm on the hardwood floor, but I'm just going to stay here. It's fine.
It's fine.
I mean, and they last too. It's not it goes away. No, it'll last for
Hours.
10 hours.
Hours and
yeah.
hours.
And I was like, well, learn my lesson,
Oh, yeah. It's 5 to 10 times more potent than when you smoke it. Your liver turns it into a whole nother drug.
Well, and the problem is, it doesn't hit you right away, if you smoke it. So, 30 minutes later is when it hits you. But by that point, you're like, oh, this isn't working. And you've eaten,
And you eat
more.
more.
And that's when you get the people that like are just like,
That's when you get the cops when they call 911 on themselves.
their eyes are like so red, they look like demons, you know, and they're like cotton mouth, like you can't even understand what they're saying. They're like, you know, and so
There's some good stories. Like the best stories of people getting high always involves edibles. Always does. That just gets people. They're not expecting it.
well, because once it hits your bloodstream, it's all through your body. Like, you know, you're done for. Like it's in there and it's there to stay. Like, so I got the chocolate covered espresso beans, and
that would seem like it would counteract each other. You get the slowness of the pot, but then you get the energy of the caffeine from the bean. But maybe you're not getting enough caffeine because it's only one bean.
Yeah, it's just, I learned, for me, 3 to 4 was the perfect amount. And they came in a little canister, like breath mints only.
Yeah.
And like to not get, out of your mind or anything, and just like take 3 and like, it's just like candy. And yeah.
Happy candy.
Yeah. And then you just, the rest of the day, you're just like, yeah, oh, that's cool. All right, whatever. Oh, this project's due. That's all right. Yeah, it'll get done. Don't worry about it. It's cool.
So you lived in California?
I did, yeah.
Acting out there and stuff?
Yeah, I had a producer. Someone produced my show, and then while I was out there, I studied at the Groundlings because I auditioned and got in. So that's what I was doing out there. And then that was when my colon was gonna explode. So
Did that screw up acting for a little bit?
A little, but I streamed or I did my videos from the hospital as a fairy. I had my husband like bring me wings and wigs, and I'd be in a hospital gown, but I'd still
nice.
and I'd walk around like that in the hospital. And but like, yeah, I literally closed my show, got on a plane the next morning, flew in, went straight to my doctor's office for the appointment. He looked at me and he said, "We need to hospitalize you now." And then they did an ultrasound. They were like, your colon's going to explode like anytime now. So if that happens, you'll get sepsis and you'll die.
That's not a good way to die either.
No, I didn't want that.
Oh, that's a bad way to go out.
And they were like, and then they brought the surgeon in who was amazing. And she's like, you're young, you're strong. And she's saying this with
they have female surgeons?
Oh, she's beautiful too. Yes. And she's amazing at her job. But she had her fingers up my bum and was talking to me, maintaining eye contact. And she's like, "You have very strong rectal muscles." I'm like, "Oh, well, thank you." She's like, "You're not going to have the bag forever. You have to have it while you heal. But we can give you a J pouch, is what it's called, and they stretch out your small intestine and make it into a super organ. So, and then they reconnect you. So, but while you heal, you have the bag and everything. So, but I actually liked having that experience because it's really not that bad. People put a stigma behind it, and it's really, you don't smell like, it's not.
I've witnessed, people go through it before. Yeah, it's a little, it doesn't have to be an issue.
It's not. I mean, you might have an
accident. It makes noise.
Yeah, because you fart out your intestine, which sticks out your side. I named her Rosebud. There's a little piece that sticks out, and that's what's in the bag,
Oh, nice.
And it looked like a rosebud, so I named her Rosebud. What are you gonna do? And so, like, yeah, I mean, but they have, it's like medical grade adhesive, and you wear them for like 3 days, and you change them, and you empty it, and then you roll it back up. Like, it's really,
whatever.
Yeah, it's not anything bad. You just can't eat roughage because it'll come out whole. So, like, raw fruits and vegetables are a no-no for me.
Oh, still?
Yeah, because I don't have a colon.
I don't even know what a colon does. To be honest,
it's your large intestine. That's where it like solidifies things into poo. So everything's like liquid for me because I don't have that anymore, and it absorbs like probiotics. That's where it's absorbed, is in your colon. So
so can you don't take you can't take, you don't have any.
There's no point.
There's no point. You don't have any bacteria in your gut.
Yeah, no. I just have the small intestine.
Huh.
So, but it's shaped into a special like super organ. So I'm hoping for a bionic colon someday, so I can be a cyborg.
I mean, the way technology is going with stem cells and 3D printing and just...
Just give me a 3D printed colon. It'll work just fine. Like,
they've done a 3D printed heart.
Oh, I've seen them. It's amazing.
Stomach. I think they've done a stomach too.
I'll
I
take it.
think, or maybe not. Maybe they're just using pig stomachs.
Don't say that.
Oh yeah, you have a pig. Yeah, I think they use pig stomachs for stuff.
Well, pigs internally are a lot like humans.
Right.
Yeah.
And their skin is too. A lot of if you want to learn how to tattoo,
They have
tattoo
thick
up,
skin.
ink up a pig.
They have thick skin. They will scream. They
I
will.
used to date them or give them just enough kratom to mellow them out.
No, it wouldn't work.
Did you ever tattoo your pig?
I've painted their hooves. Like, I've had 2 pigs, so yeah, I've painted their hooves before. But they like it.
Yeah.
And Dashiell wears bow ties, and, you know, because he's very handsome. And when I had Amelia, she was my previous pig. She wore tutus. Not
They
all
live
the
for a long
time.
time, don't they?
Yeah. Unless they get sick. And when they get
Ooh.
sick, they don't show that they're sick until the very end because they're prey animals. So they hide it from you. And you don't know anything's wrong until literally it's pretty much too late. And so that's like, yeah.
They're prey animals?
Yeah. So they think like, you know, they have to act strong.
Pigs are prey animals.
Yep. Well, except for those
Really?
boars.
I was going to say, I would think they'd be omnivore. They're omnivores.
They are omnivores, but like in the, in
so
the
they can
cycle of
hunt. I
life,
mean, they do some hunting.
they can gore you. But well, ours is he's
Right.
fixed, so he doesn't have tusks or anything.
Right, but the species in general.
Oh yeah, they'll eat people. They eat each
Oh
other.
yeah.
Yeah. Like,
But I'm saying as far as hunting too, like won't they hunt? Like will they hunt and chase? They'll chase down like.
the boars, like they might hunt a human down just because.
Not a human. Oh, they might.
No,
chase.
they'd hunt
No,
a
they
human
no,
down.
but not for food.
No.
But I'm saying they would hunt. Wouldn't they hunt like maybe a bird or a mouse or something for food?
Not domesticated ones.
No, but the species. What are they? The Suscrafa.
They're in the south and they like run rampant and everything. And
Right.
I don't know if they actually hunt. Any pig that I've met that's aggressive they just do it for fun because they're really smart.
Right.
They're really smart. People aren't prepared for how intelligent.
What
they
can
are.
what do you have your pig trained to do, or like what's some smart things that your pig like? What would
Oh, he's.
tell me how smart this pig is?
He learns tricks faster than a dog. You show him something once and he knows it. He knows sit, spin. Obviously, he knows his name. He has special stairs to go up to the couch but he still leaps and jumps and stuff. And he knows to go in his box.
Potbelly pig.
He's a mini pig. That's what they're called.
Okay.
But they're not.
How big is he? How many pounds?
Right now, about 70.
Oh, geez, that's big.
Well, but it's a.
How big will he
compact.
get?
Like around 100.
That's a big animal.
No, but they're compact. Like our dog, it looks bigger, but he's only 60 pounds. But he's tall.
That's a big dog too.
Thin. He's like a medium. He's like a retriever mixed with a demon from but like he's not as tall. They stay small and compact, so it's just like a little bullet of muscle, and so but you can look in their eyes. Some animals are just like
like a cow.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, pigs, you look in their eye and it's like Jurassic Park, clever girl.
Yeah.
Like we had to put child locks on the cabinets and everything because he learned once how to open it with his snoot. And he is so happy. He's such a happy pig. He doesn't want to be an alpha or
He's
anything.
house trained, of course.
Oh yeah, he goes straight to the door when we want to go outside. We never had to do anything. Pigs are very clean. They will not go to the bathroom where they eat or sleep. Refuse. They won't do it. Like people are like, filthy as a pig. Yeah, the only reason they're muddy is they don't have sweat glands and if they live outside.
That's how they stay cool.
Exactly. Yeah, they're not like dirty animals. They don't like dirt. So
Does it smell like? Does your house smell like pig?
No.
Some people's house smells like cat. Some smells
or
like
dog. Yeah. No, he is. He's the cleanest. If you've ever, do you know what horses smell like? That the kind of barnyard musk.
Yeah.
Well, he slightly has that, but you also have to grease your pig because they get dry skin. So we put coconut oil on him, so he's like a tropical barnyard, But he doesn't reek because he doesn't sweat, So
A little Hawaiian pizza.
Exactly, and they have pigs in Hawaii that surf. There's like a whole community of surfing pigs.
Oh yeah.
So I want to teach Dash to paint. I think he'd enjoy that because you have to keep him stimulated and interested and stuff.
Really?
Like that. Yeah. They're like, people are like, is it like having a cat or a dog? I'm like, neither. It's like having like a toddler.
Wow.
Because they're constantly learning and wanting to learn and, you know, stuff like that. So, and they're proud of themselves.
Really?
Like, he learned he could knock the chairs over, like the kitchen chairs and stuff. He'd knock one over, and, you know, rather than like being upset, he'd come wagging his tail. He's like, look what
Look
I
what I learned how to
did,"
do.
You know? Yeah.
That's
So-
cute.
And I mean, once one time, and then he remembers. So it's
How do you discipline a pig?
You
Do they
can't
take
really.
do they take discipline well? Like
You
can-
you have to establish dominance. That's the main thing, because it's a hierarchy, you know, like
Right,
a hierarchy, and
right.
and it's a matriarchal society.
Oh, really?
So like
Huh. I didn't know that.
yeah, Amelia, our previous pig, she I was the alpha sow, she was the beta sow, and she would still attack daddy, because
Oh,
to
yeah.
her daddy was below her, you know.
Right.
And but she wouldn't. Every now and then she'd you know, charge at me, but you can't move, you can't be afraid, because if you act afraid,
She
then-
wins.
Yeah, she's like, haha.
I'm the alpha.
Exactly.
I'm the alpha, bitch.
So you just got to stand there and stand your ground. And it's scary. Even this little pig, she was 85 pounds, but compact, you know, charging at you like, making this noise with her mohawk sticking up. I mean, you have to be brave. People would come in my house and be like, eh.
Can you charge her back when she's charged? Can you charge her?
Yep.
Oh, come at me. Come at me, bro.
Come at me, bro. Did you see those commercials? I love those commercials.
No.
Oh, there was a Matt Castle commercial a long
Who's
time
Matt
ago.
Castle? The football player?
Yeah, from a long time ago. And Danny McBride did them, and it was
Danny
so
McBride is
funny.
yeah, that
Come at me, bro. Come
Huh.
at me.
I don't know that one.
It's hysterical. But like, no, he like Amelia would challenge. Dashiell does not challenge anybody. He thinks everyone loves him. Everyone's his friend. Like the cats
Sounds
groom
like a
him.
golden retriever or something.
He's just happy. I mean, he gets into mischief, but it's because he's still a baby and he's still learning, you know. And I don't make him stream or anything. Like, he gets on camera himself. Like, Amelia was the same way. He knows what a camera looks like. Sometimes that's how I like lure him over. I'll put the camera down and he comes running towards it. He's like,
Wow.
tell me how pretty I am. So yeah, I think pigs are great if you have the time to spend with them. They're definitely not animals that can be locked up for, you know, 10 hours a day in a kennel.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, anything smart that just drives them crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Any kind of animal like
And
that.
I got stuck in his kennel for like half a day one day.
You got stuck in his kennel?
Well, he had a blockage and he had a tummy ache, and the vet said to watch him. And so since I keep odd hours, like my husband has a normal job, so he got up at dawn, you know, to go to work. And I crawled into Dashiell's kennel with him because it's one of those giant ones. It's his bedroom. He has his, you know, his pillows and blankets. And I laid down and slept, you know, next to him. And I had put my phone like on top of the kennel because I didn't want him to wake up and like chew on it or something. Well, so at some point, like my muscles locked up, like I seized up, you know, like one of those like cramps.
Yeah. Oh.
And I couldn't get out. Like my legs were dead. Like I couldn't move. Like Dashiell, the door was open, you know. Dash would come out and, you know, he'd look at me and he'd like go to the door and then he'd come and look at me. He's like, I have to go to the bathroom. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I can't move. Like
Figure it out.
2 hours later, sweating, I had managed to like drag using just my poor upper body strength, you know, with my dead legs.
Right.
And like reach the phone, and I called my husband. I'm like, I need you to. I can't get off the floor. And to his credit, he didn't even ask questions. Okay, I'll be there soon.
Oh, nice.
I mean, because I look like a fairy, you know, all the time anyway. Like, so he doesn't ask questions.
Gotta help a fairy out.
I'm like, I have to go pick up this bulletproof vest because I'm gonna go with this this bounty hunter streamer. And he's like, okay, have fun, you know, like.
What's his name?
Ocean's Giant is his handle, and then there's another one.
The bounty hunter, the bounty streamer is?
Yeah, he's one of the local ones.
Okay, I knew of one. I can't remember.
Steven IRL, that was his partner. And he has a lot of followers too. They eventually split. I mean, they're still friends, but they have their own, you know.
A skinnier guy and then a bigger guy?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. What?
Yes.
Yeah, I used to watch
They
them.
used to, and they still sometimes stream together, but you know, they have their own platforms and stuff. And I met them and I found out they were local. And so we streamed together a couple times.
Oh, cool.
And he teaches me like fairy bounty hunting things. And I know people with bulletproof vests and, you know, So why wouldn't a fairy wear a bulletproof vest?
Hell yeah.
It's
Well, you're the city fairy. Of course you got bulletproof vests.
like, I'm from
You're
the
not this
816.
woodland. Who wants to be a woodland fairy? You guys aren't having any fun.
I
City
know.
fairy here is killing the game right now. Bulletproof vest, hanging out, doing podcasts.
Bitches can't hang with the streets. I mean, they just can't.
They can't do it.
Oh. That's what I tell people. I'm like, I'm from the 816. I was like, I desperately, like, and I'm very close. I want to get Tech9 to do a funny fairy rap with me sometime. I really do, because I know a friend of mine dated him for a long, long time and everything, and they're on good terms. You know, it's just he's busy, and I understand that.
Right.
But oh my gosh, I just think it'd be funny. And he moved to the 913, and so I was gonna like.
You can go out to Strangeland and just hang out up there as a fairy every day until you bump into him.
And I talked to the head, and I guess I could just sit out there like a creeper.
Yeah.
You know? Be like,
I'm the fairy. Just walk in there.
hi. Because I've messaged, and I would talk, but I just think it would be so much fun. Because I have a fake grill too.
Oh, nice.
And I glued like jewels on it. Because, the I'm a Playa song, like, I'm a fairy. And then like we could, because he's a great lyricist, and
yeah, he's incredible.
he's great, and I think it'd be so funny to have a fairy rap. Like, oh my god. And I mean, honestly, it doesn't harm him it wouldn't take him hardly any time, and it would show another side of him, because I think that's good to show that you have a human side, that you're not afraid to make fun of yourself,
Yeah.
And same with my Patrick Mahomes. Unfortunately, he got famous. Well, fortunately for him, but because there were all these memes that he sounded like Kermit the Frog.
He does.
Yeah.
Him and Jordan Peterson.
And I want to do Rainbow Connection. Him, like, a fairy and him. Like, I have like pig ears and stuff like that, and I have a pig onesie. I could be like Miss Piggy, with a tutu, and because he has that charity for kids. As I throw that. Wouldn't that be cute to see Patrick Mahomes just singing, "Why are there so many songs about rainbows?"
That's a pipe dream.
I think
it'd be great, but that ain't happening. That dude, ain't nobody letting that guy do that. He's got an image. That ain't happening.
Well,
you got a better chance with Tech9.
But he has. Oh, I know. Yeah, I've heard he's very interested in doing different stuff. But George Wendt actually told me. He's like, I normally don't tell people to ever, go meet celebrities and stuff. He's like, but you have this weird thing about you. You forced people to be your friend, even though they don't want to be. Like, I stepped on Dame Helen Mirren. Like, I straight trampled her. And she's little. She's really tiny. Like miniature size. And I fell onto Eric Stone Street. Literally fell into his arms. And
around here?
No, it was in Hollywood.
Oh, wow.
Ironically,
nice.
He was coming off the elevator. I was going on, and I tripped and just face planted into his chest. I looked up at him and I was like, "I'm from Kansas City,
right?
too."
What else do you say? Yeah, I'm from Kansas City.
And then and when I stepped on Helen Mirren, it was at this premiere kind of thing that I got invited to, and she was out mingling, and I was actually looking for her, but she was really tiny, and I just.
You didn't knock her over with your wings, did you?
No, but I stomped on her pretty good. But she sandwiched my hand, and she was like, "Oh, you're so gorgeous. Don't worry about it," and all this. And she's like, "All these girls in Hollywood, they're so beautiful." I was like, "I'm not from here."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, thank God, neither am I." She was great. She was very gracious, and yeah. So weird stuff happens to me. I stayed at Gary Sandy. If you ever saw WKRP in Cincinnati.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yep. He did I was in Right Between the Ears, which was I am in a radio theater troupe, and they've been well known, and we have occasional people, and I performed with him, and he said, before I went to LA, if you need a place to stay, you can stay at my place, and I can help you out and stuff, and gave me his contact information. I'm like, you realize I will use this. This isn't an empty promise. I straight called him, and
I'm like that too. If you offer me something, I'm gonna take you up on it.
because some people are like, oh, they're never gonna. No, I will call you. And,
oh yeah.
And he was totally gracious, and I got to stay at like off Mulholland Drive, and like he took me all around. And
I've never been out there.
It was.
I've never been to California. I gotta go.
There's a lot of people.
I need In-N-Out. I need Roscoe's.
The thing about In-N-Out though, there's always a line like out into the street. Every single one.
It's fine.
It's like you have to wait forever.
I'll go at the odd hour. I'll go at like 2:00 or something.
It doesn't matter. It's bizarre.
Really?
It's insane. Like, it's just the traffic. Like, it's like if you want to do your laundry, go to Target, you know, like that's a day.
Yeah.
It's insane. But
I mean, I want to visit. I don't want to live there.
Right.
I'd like to visit and check some stuff out.
Visiting is fun. You know, you can Uber everywhere and you don't have to worry about anything. Yeah. But when you're actually living there, like the parking signs are like, you can park here from this hour to this hour on this day, but on this day, this hour to this hour, and this and parking tickets are at least double what we pay here.
Oh yeah,
and
everything
they'll tow
is.
you. Yeah. So you're like constantly like, what day of the week is it? Can I park on the street? Oh, which side of the street can I park on?
Oh.
Because they have street cleaners, you know.
Oh,
and like,
that's why you Uber everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in LA, they don't have like a good like subway system. They don't have good public transportation, so you have to drive pretty much, you know. So
It's spread out so far.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, because you might have an
Ubering would be expensive. Probably.
It is. It gets luckily, I stayed in between Melrose and Santa Monica, so I was in West Hollywood when I stayed out there, so I could walk a lot of places, which was
That'd
nice.
be beautiful. I'd like to see. I could get down with that.
It was great. But when it rained, people would act like the apocalypse was coming.
That's what I've heard.
They're like
it's never rained before. Yeah.
They like stare up at
Everyone
the sky.
starts just
and
running into each other on
Yes.
the highways. Just
like I'd be walking, I feel a sprinkle, I don't even think about it, and you see people like looking like, you know, and like start like people would cancel like their appointments, doctor's appointments and hair appointments, and like I can't drive, it's raining.
weak.
And I'm just like, what?
Weak people. Soft.
It was bizarre. And as soon as it hit like, you know, 65 degrees, it was freezing. Like
Oh
they had
boy.
on like puffer jackets
Oh.
and scarves, and I'm still wearing
Oh,
like
give me
shorts
65
and
all day.
stuff. I know. And they're all like all bundled up in their boots and everything, and I'm like, what's the
Well, they
matter
probably
with
think of it
you?
as more of a fashion. Like, oh, this is our chance to do some fashion and pretend it's cold.
I guess, but I was just like,
When will you find out if your pilot gets picked up?
I mean, I have to send in the thing this damaged everything because I was gonna go out there because and there was a YouTube streamer that I admire. He's popular, but he's not like blowing up.
Mhm.
But I like his style. You know when you can just kind of tell like you think you'd vibe with someone.
Yeah.
And he shoots videos like I do, and he has a character and stuff. And he's in LA as well, and he actually, accepted me as like friend and everything. So,
Congratulations.
I just ask. I ask for what I want. I tell people, I'm like, the worst they can say is no,
That's my motto. One of my mottos.
Just ask. And you'd be surprised how many people are like,
Yeah, sure. I'd love to.
Why not?
What else am I going to do?
So, and then I could do, kill two birds with one stone. And George's thing would only take like, 4 hours, if that, and then I give it to, my stepbrother. So, because he's high up. I've never asked for a favor because I believe in working for myself. But I was like, I think I am owed one favor, and I'm saving it. And now I have the thing I saved it
About to
for.
cash it in, huh?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes. So, and I've asked, I mean, I don't just ask friends. I ask like actual, producers and theater, film, everybody. This is my idea. What do you think of it? Be honest. And like, I mean, they'll tell me the critiques, but for the most part, it's been positive. It's really weird, the format, but if it's done well and I know how I want it done,
right?
Because it would be a road trip, but like the cameraman would be in it, the sound people.
You would
be in
actually
it.
do the road trip?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it would be a documentary. We'd stop at like
It's a
Gator
mockumentary,
Farms
so that'd be cool.
Yeah, so it would be like
I'm down.
real.
I'm in. What do I need to do? You got to GoFundMe or something I can donate to?
I'd be like, I want to do. I was like, I could call it "For Whom the Slutterbell Tolls" or something.
Yeah.
Like that, Because I was just calling it the Untitled Slutterbell Project, but then I woke up and I was like, "For whom the Slutterbell tolls." But yeah, that painting exists, and I've been in touch.
Slutterbell does America.
I know. Well, the South. Slutterbell does the South. It's like, So yeah,
Slutterbell, and you can spell it Belle.
well, I wasn't original. I didn't put the E on the. I didn't do the French thing. I was just like Slutterbell.
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 Southern Slutterbell.
Slutterbell.
Hey, won't you come on down here, you little crawfish, you little Slutterbell,
I'll
you.
tell you something. They're fresh right out the creek. You know. So I want to hit all those like roadside. You know, as a fairy, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Obviously.
And you'd be surprised how many people are open to, like, people are never like, get out, you know, like, and I'll be like,
no, why would they?
Well,
People are nice.
Some businesses, you know, they feel
It's
like
entertaining.
they have maintain like a reputation, but you go in somewhere and I'm like, this is what I do, and you know, I'm honest and open, and they're like, okay. So like I always ask permission first. I'm really polite, you know, and I'm not like jackass, you know, I don't do stupid stunts. I'm literally just myself. I'm just a fairy.
Mm-hmm.
Just going about daily life. And people, it's like they just file it away and they're like, oh, she's a fairy.
I saw a fairy today, Mom.
Yeah.
I love it. Like I said, I have a 3.5-year-old daughter. She loves princesses and unicorns and stuffed animals. If I took her to Red Robin or something and saw you in there, she'd love it.
I'd just be hanging out and it's like eating my burger. Like,
She'd
hey.
love it. Yeah. I'm like, hey, go say hi to the fairy over there.
People do, and like the owners will come out. They're like, I don't know what you're doing here, but thank you for stopping in. Like,
Nice.
it's so yeah, it's just really sweet. Like, and I go out with Dr. Mumu. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
I don't know him.
He'd be interesting to put on your podcast. He's
Dr. Mumu?
yes.
Okay.
And he does charity. He's a retired doctor, and he goes out weekly, and he vlogs and goes to, you know, homeless or people who are down on their luck, you know, like in the bus stops, and you know, and he gets their stories, and then he always chooses one or two and gives them $100.
Oh,
but
cool.
he also brings a bunch of food and stuff. And
Oh,
then
nice.
I went with him. I've gone with him several times, and I always have like unicorns and temporary tattoos and useless things.
Fun stuff. Bring a smile to their face. Hell yeah.
Exactly. But you'd be surprised how many people want to do it. And they do videos with me, and I do like videos
Right.
on the street with
That
them
is
and everything.
awesome.
So, and he's a great guy. You know, he's a philanthropist, and he wears a mask, you know. So there's this masked man and this fairy.
A doctor mask?
Like, no, it's like a,
Oh.
it covers his whole face, and he wears sunglasses over it.
I got to have this dude on.
So
I'll reach out to him.
You should. He's got it pages, and he does. I mean, he's been in national stuff for the philanthropy he does.
Okay, cool.
And I just met him randomly, and he's like, "Yeah, I'd love to have a fairy." After he stared at me for a few minutes, and you know, and I brought a fairy posse, you know. So that day we had a professional photographer, Roy Inman. He's the one who took like the iconic Union Station photos from the Super Bowl and the World Series,
Yeah.
and he's their official photographer. That's Roy, and he's a good friend of mine, and he documented the thing via photo. And then we had Brother John, who does like spoken word and vlogs and stuff around town, and he was following us. And then I had two fairies with me, and like, and then Dr. Moo. Cops would like pull over and take pictures of
What
us.
a gang.
It was like we were just happily
Gang.
walking around. I had my tutu on, you know, and I had my fanny pack. It's a holographic clear fanny pack with unicorns and stuff in
Ooh.
it, like giving out stuff.
I'll
and-
rock one of them.
Oh, it's nice. I shop a lot of rave websites.
Yeah.
If you look
That
up,
makes sense, yeah.
I mean, you could get the stuff on clearance that nobody else wants, but because I can see what I can use it for.
All right.
You know what I mean?
You got an eye for it. You got a fairy eye.
It's like, oh, I could match that with this tutu. You know, like. So yeah, I always kid if you get on my Amazon website, it looks like a raver who does like.
All the Molly?
Oh yes, but does children's parties too. Because I also get like, you know, like unicorn stuff, and I always have
Right.
like extra ears and just random props for people to wear if they want to do a video. My car is full of just
Your closet must be full of fun stuff.
my spare room is full of
Right? Your fairy room, huh?
Yeah, it's a disaster. Like my stream has accidentally seen it, and they're like, "What's happening in there?" Well, our basement flooded. We had to bring everything into one, and it's just kind of.
Oh.
It's like, So, I look like a dumpster fire fairy, but that's okay.
You're a city farrier.
I am. You know.
Sex in the City. Fairy in the City. That's the show you need to do. Remake Sex in the City, but do it with fairies.
I know. We had a podcast for a while until my friend fell in love and got a life. But
Yeah.
there's something about fairy.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm so punny.
Puns are great. I
I
love dad jokes.
I love poop ones. I come up with a lot of poop ones.
Of course
for
you
my
do.
poop
It hits
shows.
home.
It's like one of the monologues. It was about the Lord of the Rings, and I called it the Fellow Shit of the Rings.
Nice.
And I tell people to shit for the stars, and I'm very popular with people. I'm an entrepreneur. I just come up with all those. Hannibal Lecter. Because a puppeteer offered to make me a puppet for this last show.
A puppeteer.
Yes, I did call him a puppeteer. And our puppet, he showed up, and like the news people were there, and he happened to be the one that showed up with the puppet. And right on the spot, he came up. He sounded kind of like a Southern drag queen when he did, because he just was doing a voice, So that was Blanche Poubois, like from A Streetcar Named Desire.
Right.
Blanche Dubois. So I was thinking of other, like Napoleon, Bonaparte or something. Like we could have like Pee-wee, because Blanche is a rainbow leopard print turd with long eyelashes, and it's like 2.5 feet tall. I mean, it's like a real marionette.
Right.
It's not just
Those
like
things
a
are
sock
awesome.
puppet. Yeah, he's a puppeteer.
Yeah, those cool puppeteers. I went to that one. I took one of my kids to the Paul Mesner's place down there on Linwood or whatever.
Yep, that's where he's worked there. And
Yeah,
now
that
he
place is
just
dope.
spun off.
Those puppet shows are legit.
Oh yeah,
Like they're legit. Like it'll knock your socks off. Like how cool and entertaining they actually
and
are.
that's what he does, and he builds them too.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and he built Blanche for me, like.
Wow.
So, and she's quite popular. Like she got to, help host like for the Fringe Festival, and like he'll do little things, and people love Blanche.
Wow, look at you. I got a real celebrity on the show. I can't even believe it. I accidentally got a real celebrity on here.
I just never say no.
Yeah. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate you coming on and
fun.
spreading the Slutterbell.
I know. I just want laughter's the
podcast,
best
yeah.
medicine. Just laugh at yourself and make fun of yourself.
This podcast is basically all about having a good time, and like you fit in perfectly here. This was awesome. I really thank you for doing this. Is there anything you'd like to say here, like where people can find you, how you want people to?
I'm everywhere. That sounds kind of creepy. Like I have this photograph that Roy Inman took and sells prints of it. So they're like, I'm looking out people's living rooms too. But yeah, no, I'm on Instagram. That's my favorite. But like Facebook, I live stream on Twitch. I have Twitter. I have YouTube. I started the TikTok. It's really bad. Go ahead and watch some of my videos. They're getting better.
You'll get better at it.
Well, I get too creative.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
And it's like, ugh, I need to dumb it down a little. But yeah, I just keep growing, and maybe you'll see a pilot, and I'm on the Big Dumb Fun show. And
I want to see this pilot. I want to watch the show. I want it to succeed.
I hope
it takes. Yeah, I hope it gets bought, and I hope we get to see you traveling through the South with George Wendt.
I mean, it wouldn't be that expensive if you think about the budget. I just want to buy like a used rape van, the kind with the windows blacked out.
And a unicorn painted on the side.
Exactly, like Lisa Frank style. Like a local artist paint it, like airbrush paint it, like, and we'd travel.
That'd be sweet. That'd be really cool.
Or like a used minibus, like
pulling a trailer behind it or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know it's weird. I always tell people I'm better in person than on paper, so it's true. Because if you hear the idea, like if you see it written down, you're like, oh God.
Everything has to be explained and yeah, put it in entertaining fashion.
That's why I try to send like 30-second videos along with all my clips and
Nice.
stuff. I'm like, hi, this is actually me. This is what you get. If you
Nice.
like it, great. Like, because otherwise they're like, a fairy? What does she do?
I didn't know what to expect. I was blown away. This was even more fun than I anticipated.
I'm glad.
I'm glad I got to meet you.
It was
Don't be a stranger. Maybe we can do this again.
I know, and we can when our powers combine, we can social media, Captain Planet.
All right. Yeah. Can I get a fist bump from you?
That's like, heck yeah.
Yes.
When I met LeVar Burton, he fist bumped.
Oh, nice.
'Cause
Reading Rainbow guy.
yes, and because everybody was talking to him about Star Trek, because it was
Oh.
at Comic-Con,
Yeah, I'm not a Star
and I ran
Trek
up.
or a Star Wars guy.
I was like, I love Reading Rainbow,
Yeah.
and he got all excited
Hell yeah.
because I was like the only person all
He was
day.
trying to bring it back too for a minute there.
Yeah. Oh, he did.
Yeah.
They had a GoFundMe, and they
Yep.
yeah. That was right
Oh,
when they
yeah.
were doing it. And Margot, that's where I met Margot Kidder, and she told me her whole life story.
You've met everybody. This was real, Slutterbell.
That rarely happens. to
Thanks for
me.
listening, everybody. We're out of here. Bye.
I know. Peace. Make good choices. Ever since.